Nothing. Just taking pictures.
Taking pictures of what?
Whatever I can see.
Okay, well, you're not allowed to be in the parking lot of the reformatory taking pictures.
I wasn't in the parking lot.
Okay, you cannot be taking pictures.
I wasn't in the parking lot.
Okay, sir.
I was on the roadway. This is a public easement, right? Utility poles.
It is policy. You are not
I don't
allowed
care.
to take pictures.
I don't care about your policy.
You don't care about policy.
I don't care about their policy. I'm not behind those walls.
Okay. Do you want to end up behind the walls?
I don't think I will.
Because there are things in place that you cannot be doing.
Be careful.
I am being careful.
Okay.
You need to also be
You
careful.
said policy. That is not law.
Okay.
At first, the officer is telling the auditor he is not allowed to be filming the reformatory from its parking lot. The auditor reinforces the fact that he was never in their parking lot, but has always been on public property. The officer then states it is policy not to allow filming. Since policy does not equal law, and the auditor was never on the property of the reformatory, this policy does not apply to him.
Okay.
Law says I can
Okay, but
take
what's your
pictures,
purpose for doing so?
whatever I want it for.
Whatever you want it for?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's the problem. See, it's suspicious activity. All right, that's why we're here talking to you.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is suspicion
Reasonable suspicion of criminal activity afoot is a reason for us to be out here talking to you.
is suspicion a misdemeanor or a felony?
It's neither, but it gives
there
us
you go.
the right to be here and asking questions.
You can ask all you want.
It's an investigation, and if you're not going to cooperate,
I don't have to cooperate with your investigation. I'm lawfully and under no obligation to cooperate with you. None.
okay, I'm just going to tell it to you this way.
Am I being
We're not
detained?
here trying
Am I
to-
being detained?
Technically, right now, you are being detained.
For what?
yes.
For what? What
You're being
crime?
okay,
What crime?
this is the issue, okay?
What? You tell me what crime and I will tell
You
you.
need to be quiet for just a second.
I am not
okay,
going to be
because
quiet. I don't
you
have to be
understand
quiet.
what the word detained means.
Yes, I do.
Detained means you're not free to leave. You are not free
For
to
what
leave right
crime? For what
now. You're
crime?
not being detained for a crime. You are
Then
being
I should be free to go.
reasonable suspicion.
What is your
There
What is your
is
RAS?
something like-
What is your RAS?
Okay?
What is your RAS that a criminal activity is afoot?
You are taking pictures and videoing a
Is that
government
illegal?
facility.
Is that illegal?
The officer has stated this auditor is under detainment and is therefore not free to leave. The officer is within his rights to stop this auditor and question him. But here comes the twist. The auditor is correct. He is under no obligation to cooperate with this officer and answer any of his questions. At this point, to legally detain this auditor, the officer needs to be able to explain what his reasonable suspicion is that this auditor has either committed a crime or is about to commit a crime.
Do you guys arrest the Google car that comes down through here and takes pictures of all this?
There's not a Google car that comes down here and takes
I can
pictures.
see it on Google Maps.
That's because they use something probably from above.
No, they drive right down through here.
But they don't take pictures of that.
Yes, they do. That's how I found the place.
So what is your purpose for being out here?
None of your
other
business.
than trying to get it on YouTube and be famous?
None of your business. If that's what you think, then you're going to be famous. Am I free to go? Am I free to go?
You're not free to go yet.
Why not?
Because
Because your butt hurt? Your ego won't let me continue about my way?
it's got nothing to do with my ego, sir.
Then why?
I am here because
This
you're
is
supposed-
legally, constitutionally protected activity.
At this point, the officer is illegally detaining this auditor. The officer can hold the auditor for a reasonable amount of time to determine if a crime has been committed. But at this point, the officer cannot articulate a reasonable suspicion, and unfortunately, his ego will not let him release the auditor. At the same time, this auditor is doing a great job articulating that he has always been on public property, and he is doing a constitutionally protected activity. On top of that, the auditor continues to ask if he is free to leave.
First Amendment. I'm a journalist gathering content for a story on the prison, on that prison, and the juvenile center.
Okay, do you have any identification showing?
I don't have to
that's
show
what
you.
you're for?
I don't have to show you.
If I ask you for ID, you do have
No,
to
you do.
provide it.
No, I do not.
Yes, you do.
Not unless I'm
Failure
legally,
to identify is a crime.
if I'm legally arrested.
You don't have to be committing a crime. If
I-
I am here,
If I'm legally
If I am
in the state of
legally-
Indiana, I have no weapons. I have a pocket knife. That's it.
okay.
And that's all I
I
have.
am legally here as well, okay?
And that's fine.
Because I am legally here, if I tell you...
Why don't you step it down a little bit and stop yelling, okay?
Well, if you'd stop talking over me, I
I
wouldn't
can-
have to be yelling.
I don't
Understand
have to
that?
listen to you. Do you
You're right,
understand
you
what
don't
I'm
have
saying?
To listen to me.
I'm going to be
gonna make
free
the
to go on my
situation-
way.
No, you're
How
not.
am I going to... Why not?
Because we're not done with this investigation
Unless you
yet.
can tell me that I have broken the law for you to stop me, I'm going to leave.
You are not free to leave. You're going to stand by until there's other people here.
What other people?
There's other guys on
For
the way.
what?
Because
You're an egomaniac and you're a
nothing to do
puss.
with ego, okay?
You're a puss.
We're
You gotta
trying to
call
conduct
your.
an
You
investigation
gotta call your
on
little.
Why you're here in the first
I
place.
don't have to help you with that. I do not have to cooperate with you at all, one bit. And you know you're wrong because you're shaking your head. You know I'm right.
I'm not wrong.
You are wrong, and you're gonna find. Where's your supervisor?
He's on his way.
Okay.
You'll be more than welcome to talk to him.
Your sergeant, lieutenant. What?
Sergeant. He's
Okay.
on his way. You're
Good.
more than welcome to talk to him.
That's fine. I'd like to be on my way because I haven't broken any laws. That's a camera, by the way.
I'm clear on what that is.
Okay, good. So is this.
I'm plenty aware.
I have another one in my backpack. I have another one here that's rolling as well. So just be informed.
I'm perfectly okay with being on camera.
You got about 600 people watching you right now.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay. So am I detained? Lawfully?
You are being
Lawfully.
detained until this investigation is
Lawfully
completed.
detained?
Yes.
What is your razz that I am suspicious?
The
What-
fact that you're videoing the prison,
It is constitutionally protected activity for journalists, for citizens.
then you need to provide
I
identification.
don't have to
Yes,
provide you
okay,
anything,
listen,
sir.
If it is See,
No, I
this
don't.
is why I'm having to raise my voice, because you won't stop trying to talk
Because
over
you're
me.
being dumb.
No,
You're
I am
being
not.
dumb.
If you
Your
are a
ego will
journalist,
not let you walk away.
If you think that the reason you're allowed to be videoing the prison is because you are a journalist,
I am a
then
citizen
you need
journalist.
to provide some sort of proof that you are a
Sir,
journalist.
no, I don't. Who issues credentials? Who issues credentials?
Every single news media outlet
No, they don't.
issues credentials.
Corporate media. CNN, Fox News.
Journalist, and he's trying to do a story on the prison.
I'm gathering content on the story.
The auditor has taken the position that he legally doesn't need to identify himself to the officer. Since the auditor has been filming the prison from a public right-of-way, he is perfectly within his right not to identify himself to the officer. Public photography is a constitutionally protected activity and can't be deemed suspicious. The officer cannot see beyond his own ego and starts trying to intimidate the auditor by lying to him and stating just because he asked for identification, the auditor has to show identification. This is completely false in the state of Indiana. The officer cannot articulate the crime the auditor has committed. Therefore, the auditor does not need to identify himself to the officer.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing. What?
How long you been a journalist?
About 3 years.
You said
Can you? I'm doing a story on the prison, gathering content, B-roll footage. I haven't gone onto their property, up in the gates. I don't know why they told you I was in their parking lot. I've always been on the roadway. I'm riding my bike. I've been spotting trains. Other people have been riding their bikes up and down through here. Nobody's said anything, only because I have a camera.
Right.
That's it.
But you do understand, though, they're just being cautious, that's all.
And that's fine.
Right.
You can come out and ask me all you want, but I need him educated that this is constitutionally protected activity.
Right.
It cannot be deemed a criminal act or suspicious. He can come out and ask all the questions he
How
wants.
can it not be deemed
Wait a
suspicious?
minute, because I'm not committing a crime.
Let me ask you a quick question. If somebody comes to your house and
That's
stands,
my house, sir.
but they stand on the sidewalk, which is public property,
Absolutely.
and they sit there and they're videoing your house,
Absolutely
you don't
they
think,
can.
You wouldn't think that's suspicious?
Nope, because they're on a public sidewalk. And actually, a public sidewalk runs across my front yard.
Right.
And people stand out there and walk up
And I
with
understand.
cigarettes
It
and
just makes,
everything like.
you know, people
I
at
can
ease, that's all
completely
it is.
understand what
So
you're saying.
We're just trying to make sure nothing else is going
That's
on.
fine.
You know?
Absolutely.
But, like I said, as long as you're not on the property, because, you know, we got to call that you're on the property.
Well, yeah. You have to, on the road, it looks like it goes through their property, just like this does, and down there as well. But there's a parking lot on each side, but the road is public.
Right. Okay.
And that's what I was just like this. I was off in the grass a little bit, but up there in the mud, but this is exactly how I was. Now, can you explain to him that I'm not doing anything wrong?
Right. No, I mean, like I said, we're just trying to make sure. I mean,
You guys have cards?
doing a job. Huh?
Do you guys have business cards?
I don't have a business card, but I can give you my number, our post number, which is.
Well, I was actually going to go over there too. So if you guys see me over there,
Okay.
Don't
But you
bother.
gotta understand when you're on the property and they have cameras and stuff. So
Oh, sure.
we may get a call and
Sure.
see
Absolutely.
what's going on, why are you filming it, and just ask questions. All right.
asking questions
We're
are
not trying
fine,
to-
but detaining me for an unlawful reason and telling me that I'm going to end up behind these
I
walls.
never stated that.
Just a few minutes earlier, the officer did ask the auditor if he wanted to end up behind those walls. Unfortunately, this police interaction highlights a problem that many officers have. Many officers refuse to admit when they are wrong when another officer comes onto the scene. This auditor has done a great job articulating his position, and I commend this auditor for standing his ground. Unfortunately, sometimes you will run into officers like this one that are so entrenched in their position that they will refuse to back down at all cost.